Let's take a look at the season series between these two clubs. With the Mets' victory yesterday, the Phillies' lead in the season series is now 10-6. The Phillies haven't hit all that well. Average-wise, they're averaging just under 5 runs per game. Their pitching's been good, and that's why yesterday kind of came out of nowhere with the way the bullpen struggled in the back end of that game against the Mets. Well, the starting lineup for this afternoon's ball game for Jerry Manuel's squad. Let's take a look at it for game one of this day-night doubleheader. He's got the same guy leading off once again, Angel Pagan. He's in center field. Anderson Hernandez, the second baseman, bats second. David Wright hits third, followed by Daniel Murphy, the cleanup batter. Jeff Francoeur in right field batting fifth. Hitting sixth is Corey Sullivan, the left fielder. Josh Toll, the catcher, bats seventh. Wilson Valdez hits eighth. And batting ninth and pitching is right-hander John Maine. And on the mound, it'll be Kyle Kendrick for the Phillies, making his 5th appearance of the season for the Phillies. His first start, Kyle was 9-7 with a 3.34 earned run average down at AAA. And Rich Dubé said today, Wheels, that he's not sure what he's going to get from Kyle Kendrick. He's hoping he's going to get a little length.
Numbers are better. They say he's using his changeup more effectively, and obviously that's what he had to do to be able to compete at the major league level. And Kyle knows he's really getting a good start here today, because if Hap hadn't gone down, Jamie Moyer would have been lined up to pitch here this afternoon, or at least tonight. So Kyle has a chance to show something off and hopefully do okay. That's his sinking fastball. Emphasis on developing that changeup. First major league start of the season. He has been here for a few relief outings this season.
Well, there is Jay Happ, and they're still unsure as to whether he is going to be able to pitch his next time through the rotation. They're hoping he will be able to. He has got that mild strain to his right oblique muscle, an injury he sustained while taking batting practice last week. Well, here we go. Game 3 of this 4-game series. Angel Pagan leads things off, and the first pitch is taken outside. So we're underway on what could be a very important day for the Phillies in this race to win their 3rd consecutive National League East title. That's a strike at the knees. It's 1-1. Phillies begin play today 5 games up in the division, 20 games over 500, at 80-60 over the Marlins, who are playing the Nationals today. And Charlie knows that his team's scoreboard watching a little bit at this point. There's that changeup from Kendrick, and it's 1-2. But you got 2 games in one day, while the other team that's right behind you plays just 1 game. You can make up or lose some ground this afternoon.
Right,
tonight.
and tomorrow the Phillies have an off day, and the Marlins play at St. Louis tomorrow.
1-2 the count to Pagan. And he got it. Back-to-back changeups. That's a good sign for Kyle Kendrick. One away here at the top of the first.
Yeah, that's a real good sign, because that's what we're going to talk about right now in our Key State Chrysler Jeep Keys to this afternoon's game. Weather's turned great. Well, long day and night coming up. Can you shake off another tough loss? They've been able to do it all year. That one was brutal yesterday. Kyle Kendrick, has his off-speed stuff improved? Did to the first batter.
Sure did. Well, here's the second batter, Anderson Hernandez, who's hitting .364 lifetime against the Phillies. And he takes a pitch at the knees for strike 1. See Hernandez's numbers overall. That includes the start this year with the Washington Nationals. His numbers are very even between the Mets and the Nationals. He has played in this series as a defensive replacement. He has not enjoyed hitting at Citi Field this year, as you can see by those numbers. 0-2 the count. Kendrick has his signs from Paul Bacco. And Hernandez stays alive. Kyle is now just 25 years old. He was able to reach a lot of success in the big leagues very early with 21 wins, including 10 wins in his first year, which was 2007. Line drive, foul down the right field line. So Hernandez has fouled off the last 2 pitches. And another changeup swung on and missed. That one was up in the zone a little bit, but he gets back-to-back strikeouts, 2 away.
Well, he's trying to throw it. I mean, that's the whole thing. Is he knows if he has any chance to succeed up here, he has to use this pitch. And, you know, that was not necessarily a good one, but he'd thrown a cutter, a slider, or something inside on the pitch before that he yanked foul. So, you know, the guy's kind of looking in there. Now that pitch away surprised him.
So 2 away. Here's yesterday's hero for the Mets, David Wright, who had 6 RBIs in that ball game, including a 2-run single in the first inning. But then the 2-run home runs in the 8th and the 9th against the Phillies bullpen.
Yeah, a couple of off-speed pitches. Madsen threw him a changeup to start him off, went right in the middle and actually came in a little bit. It looked like Myers threw him a split that he hit out. And give David Wright credit. He had a big day. A little payback for David Wright after what the Phillies have done to his team the last few years.
Well, those 2 home runs yesterday give him a tie for the team lead with 10. I mean, it's amazing at this point in the season that the team high in home runs for any squad is 10.
And in their case, of course, there's all kinds of mitigating factors. Number one, Delgado and Beltran have not had a full season, so you know those guys would hit a lot of home runs if they'd have played all year. And the other reason is that monster ballpark they play.
Right. There's Gary Sheffield, who shares the team lead with David Wright. 1-2 the count. Kendricks got his signs. And he got it swinging on what looked like a fastball. And Kyle Kendrick has come out and he has struck out the side here at the top of the first inning. Well, he showed the fastball, the sinker, and the changeup in this inning. Good signs from the beginning. First Pagan, then Hernandez, and then finally David Wright. Chase Utley hits third. Ryan Howard is the cleanup batter. Raul Ibanez in left field bats fifth. Ben Francisco starts for Jason Worth in right field. He'll hit sixth. Pedro Feliz will bat seventh. Batting eighth and catching Paul Bacco. And on the mound, of course, is Kyle. And they will face right-hander John Maine, who's making his first appearance since the 16th of June. He has been plagued by a shoulder problem since the end of last year. It's caused him to miss a lot of time, and he is scheduled to throw just 65 pitches today.
Well, he's a guy that's really hurt the Phillies over the years, too. You see the overall numbers on him. Our scouting report from Southwest Airlines, he's more of a sinker ball pitcher now. He used to be a high fastball pitcher. Now tries to keep the ball down. His first appearance in the majors, been a while. And career against the Phillies, real good. And that's from when he used to get him to chase high fastballs till he changed his style, where he throws a lot more sinking fastballs and sliders. He still gets them out.
Oh, Jimmy Rollins leads things off, and he takes a fastball high, so he's ahead 1 ball and no strikes. Jimmy is 4 for 25 against Maine for his career. Overall hitting .246. And he hits one in the air to right center field. Jeff Francoeur calls off Angel Pagan. 1 away. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Jenna Reed from Winona, New Jersey. If the Phillies hit a home run in today's ball game, then Jenna will win $200. Yes, the Phillies did have home runs yesterday. We were not on the air. And the home runs for the Phillies put them over 200 for the season. It's the fastest this organization's gotten to 200 home runs ever, and the 5th time overall. And Chase Utley had one of those home runs, and he waits on deck. 0-1 the count to Victorino.
That's a real hangover game. We've spent a lot of time talking about it already. You know, there was some conversation downstairs, and it's late in the season, and it's easier said than done. You got to shake that thing off. That was like losing 2 yesterday.
Victorino in the air to right center field. It's playable for Pagan, so 2 fly balls to the alleyway in right center and 2 away.
Because like you fall behind early and think you're going to lose that game anyway, 4-0 before you can blink. Then you take the lead, and then you blow it with 2 outs and nobody on base in the 9th inning. It's just a very, very difficult day.
Yeah, it was a great job by the offense to come back and erase that deficit. And Jamie Moyer really adjusted well last night, or yesterday, I should say, and did a nice job settling in. He only allowed 1 run after the 4 runs he allowed in the first inning.
Oh, yeah, he was mowing them down, and that's when it looked like it was going to be okay.
So 2 away. Here's Chase Utley. Chase hitting .297 on the year. They have a 3-man overshift on against Utley, which means that third base is wide open. See how wide open the left side of the infield is. Chase does have John Maine in his book. Overall, he's hitting .318 against him. And the count is even 1 ball and 1 strike. Maine now 28 years old, and you see what he has done here at Citizens Bank Park. We mentioned he was 5-0 overall, 2-0 in this ballpark with an ERA of 2.75.
Well, you'd like to make him work in this first inning too, and they haven't made him work that hard. I mentioned, Tom, he's on a pitch count probably today, which is 65, somewhere in that area. So the harder you make him work, the quicker you can get him out of the ball game.
Well, Jerry Manuel has been frustrated this year by the injuries that the Mets have had, and John Maine is one of those injuries that has frustrated him, along with Oliver Perez. And Maine had surgery after last season and just hasn't bounced back as well as they would have liked. But it's full 3-2.
Well, he really had come up with a very good fastball when he was healthy, and you can see already that he's not throwing anywhere near that velocity, but he's probably going to rely on a lot more movement at this point and try to sink the ball and use his changeup and use his breaking ball.
Well, Dan Worthen, the pitching coach for the Mets, is keeping an eye on him. And Chase stays alive as the count remains full 3-2.
First couple of times we saw this guy, he just buried the Phillies with high fastballs. And then he changed his pitching style, became even more effective with ground balls and getting hitters out quicker. And he came up with a really good slider, too, to right-handed hitters.
Yeah, he was throwing in the mid-90s before, sometimes would hit 96 miles an hour with that high fastball.
Very competitive guy, too. At least he has been against the Phillies.
And there's ball 4. Utley draws the walk, so the Phillies have a base runner with 2 away.
Do something off speed there, maybe a breaking ball. 3-2.
Well, the umpires for today's ball game, the home plate umpires Paul Emmel. Rob Drake is the floating umpire for this day night doubleheader. Gary Darling's at second base. Bruce Streckman is over at third base. We say that he's the floating umpire. Todd Tishner will ump the game, the plate in game 2. There's Gary Darling, the crew chief. And usually with these day night doubleheaders, whoever does the plate in game 2 has game 1 off, and whoever does the plate in game 1 has game 2 off. 0-1 the count to Ryan Howard. Ryan with 38 home runs, 117 runs batted in. And on the Toyota Major League scoreboard, good news from South Florida. The Nationals have taken a 3-0 lead over the Marlins. Elijah Dukes, a 2-run single of Chris Volstad, who's starting for the Marlins. John Lannon will be the starting pitcher for the Nationals. crossover, and Utley's back standing. Ryan is 2 for 9 on this homestand. He has yet to homer on this homestand in the first 2 games. And as he takes that pitch inside and low, 1 ball and 1 strike.
A little bit of wind blowing in from left center because it turned around a little bit out of the northwest. Really beautiful afternoon here. You're going to get some help to right and right center. And I don't know if the wind's a big factor. You see the flags are not standing straight out, but they will knock the ball down a little bit to left center field today.
Drive, a bullet toward right field. Francoeur going back, and it's off his glove and then off the base of the wall. Utley's around third, heading for home. Howard to second, the throw to the plate offline, and the Phillies take a 1-0 lead. That was a sizzler off the bat of Ryan Howard.
Yeah, when we talk about Ryan Howard and guys like him that are so strong, you either get top spin or back spin. And when you get top spin like that, they're coming down in a hurry, and that ball was smoked and on its way down. It was a high fastball. He got on top of it. Francoeur gets there, then can't quite hang on, and with 2 outs, Utley's going all the way. Francoeur got it in quickly to Anderson Hernandez, who then threw quickly to home plate. But you know, Chase Utley's one of those guys with 2 outs and running on the pitch like that. You can score him from first base even in this ballpark, where it can be kind of tough to score on a double.
And that's 100 runs scored for Chase Utley on the season. He's the first Philly to reach that milestone for the year. And again, he's on pace for 100 RBIs and 100 runs scored. And he smelled it as soon as he hit second base. Here's Chase as Raul Ibanez works ahead, 1 ball and no strikes.
Well, that's reminiscent of that run they scored off Lincecum in that great game that Lincecum and Martinez pitched against each other here recently. Gave the Phillies a run, gave them the lead, and it was a Ryan Howard 2-out double that scored Chase from first with a very important run. Anytime you get a run off Lincecum, that's important.
And as you said, too, Wheels, the chance to make John Maine work in this inning is also important.
Yeah, the first 2 guys went out kind of fast, and then Chase made him work, and now Ryan Howard a little bit, and now Ibanez. He's already up to what, 18 pitches. There it is, 9 balls, 9 strikes.
With a red-hot hitter at the plate. 2-2 the count. Ibanez a little out in front of that fastball. Raul is 4 for 10 on this homestand with 3 RBIs. He also has 4 home runs overall in his last 6 ball games to give him 31 on the year. See what September has looked like for Ibanez in 11 games, 7 RBIs in those 11 games. Two and 2 the count to him. Checked his swing. Did he go? No, says the third base umpire.
Well, Maine's pitching backwards a little bit here in the first inning. We mentioned that 3-2 breaking ball he threw, and that was a changeup. And right here, when you do that on the check swing, now you get, we talked about a lot of times, when you throw that pitch 2-2, you get into a fastball count. A lot of guys don't want to throw the same thing 3-2.
And he does throw a fastball up and in, swung on and missed, and Ibanez is down on strikes to finish up this first inning. Well, the Phillies get a run on the RBI double by Ryan Howard. That scored Chase Utley. They lead it 1-0. youth baseball and softball programs. Daniel Murphy leads things off here in the top of the second inning. Kyle Kendrick has a 1-0 lead. And he's firing strikes right now. And the count, no balls and 1 strike to Murphy. A .261 hitter, 9 homers and 55 runs batted in. He was 2 for 5 in yesterday's ball game. The Mets have so many guys on their lineup card that they have had different lineups in the first 3 games of this series. I mean, every manager has different lineups, but Jerry Manuel's lineups have been drastically different. Towards second base, easy play for Chase. 1 away. 4 up, 4 down for Kyle Kendrick.
He's had a chance to use different guys because you had left-handed starter. Now you're going to go right-hander.
Hey, those Washington Nationals who are up 3-0 over the Florida Marlins right now, they'll be here this Tuesday at 7:05. A reminder, there are seats still available for all 3 of those ball games. Very important September games here at Citizens Bank Park. You can get your tickets right now by logging on to Phillies.com. And the pitching matchups for that series include Cliff Lee in Game 1 against Garrett Mock, Joe Blanton in Game 2, and Cole Hamels against J.D. Martin in Game 3. Over to third, behind the bag, Pedro Feliz. 3 strikeouts and 2 groundouts to start this ball game for Kyle Kendrick.
Well, groundouts are part of his game. That when Kyle Kendrick first came to the major leagues, that's what he was, a sinker ball pitcher, and he had a lot of success with that pitch. Didn't throw much else, and got away with it. And then they started to catch up to him, especially the left-handed hitters in lineups just started to really hit him hard, and that's when he had to go regroup.
Well, it's not easy to do that after being in the big leagues for 1 full season and nearly a little more than half a season, which is what 2007 was for Kyle. But he did it. He won 9 games for Lehigh Valley, had a good ERA, 3.34, and he's fallen behind Corey Sullivan. And it's even 1-1. In his last appearance for Lehigh Valley, and you see the distribution of outs for his career, he went 7 1/3. He allowed just 2 earned runs during that time.
And you see that distribution of outs, and it's the way it should be with him. It should always be higher as far as ground balls and fly balls, and that's what it was in the minor leagues.
That was a changeup with a count 2-1. That's a pretty good call by Paul Bacco.
Well, yeah, he wants to see if he can get it over and get them off that sinker. Bacco's a good guy to catch him, even though they don't know each other all that well. Bacco. We'll come to think of it, Bacco had him this year, probably. No, he wouldn't have. No, Bacco was no. He was at Reading. So, but he's the kind of guy that'll work him. He'll try and experiment with something because he's a veteran.
Down low, 3-2. Well, Takahashi is already up and loosening in the bullpen for John Maine, so maybe his arm's bothering him through that first inning, because he certainly didn't throw 65 pitches in the first.
No, and he struggled a little bit, but he got him out, except for he gave up a walk and a double, but they didn't hit him real hard.
Foul ball off to the left and out of play.
And you looked at his velocity, didn't expect him to be where he had been before, especially coming back like this with all the arm problems that he's had. But, seeing him throw a 3-2 breaking ball and a 2-2 changeup in those spots, that's a guy that's not real happy with his fastball, or his catcher wasn't.
Ball 4, and Sullivan draws a 2-out walk. So he's aboard. First walk issued by Kendrick, and the first base runner. John Maine threw 22 pitches in that first inning, 10 balls and 12 strikes.
I'm sure they had a long man in mind today because of the limitation they knew Maine could go. Now he's still walking around in there with a jacket over his arm. He doesn't look like a guy who's necessarily out of the game. We'll see.
Well, here's Josh Toll, who's catching today for the Mets. And he takes a pitch on the outside corner for strike 1. Toll this year in Double-A hit .328. with 46 runs batted in. You see there 29 doubles as well. 4 for 14 since being brought up to the big leagues for this September run. Opposite way, a base hit for Toll. So that's the first hit of the day for the Mets, and they've got runners on first and second. He just served that one into left. And with 2 outs and 2 runners on, it'll bring Wilson Valdez to the plate. So Kyle, who retired the first 5 batters that he faced in this ball game, now has a walk and a single. Valdez overall hitting .222, no homers and 5 runs batted in. 1 for 6 so far in this series, and there's John Maine coming out in the on-deck circle.
Yeah, maybe they're just going to get Takahashi ready in case he goes out next inning and struggles, or they see something they don't like. It also could be a guy like Takahashi just seeing if he can go today. You know, sometimes guys will just get up early in a game after they pitch, you know, maybe a couple days in a row just to see if they can go, and you know, let the manager and the pitching coach know.
Change up outside, 2 balls and no strikes now to Valdez. Valdez, the Mets acquired from the Cleveland Indians earlier this year. Spent a lot of time down in AAA. I'm sure he crossed paths with Kyle Kenrick when the two were playing in AAA. Back toward the middle. Chase waits for it, and he's going to run to the bag, and the inning is over. So no damage done. 2 runners left on base by Kyle Kendrick after the 2-out walk to Corey Sullivan. He's able to get through this second with the Phillies up 1-0. Week at 10:30, right after my PHL 17 news at 10. Now, this is a beautiful afternoon for baseball here in Philadelphia. That's a great shot coming from the upper deck, and this place is going to be packed not only today but also later on tonight for the nightcap of this day-night doubleheader. And all that poor weather that we've had the last few days, it is finally by us as Ben Francisco leads things off here in the bottom of the second inning. Francisco making the start in right field for Jason Worth in game 1. See his numbers with the Phillies. Overall, he's hit 13 home runs this year. And he pops that one up toward the upper deck.
Charlie talking about trying to get a few more people into some games here today, but then, you know, he talked to some of his regulars and they want to play both games, and he kind of caught in between, but he decided to go this way, at least with Francisco in the first game.
Line drive, foul. Opened up just a little bit too much, or too early, I should say, and the count holds 0-2. Well, you figure you get a right-hander today in the first game and a right-hander in game 2, so you know, either way, if he wanted to give Jason a day off or a game off, there was going to be a right-hander that Francisco was going to face, and he pulls that one for a base hit into left field. And Francisco's aboard to start this second inning.
Well, he wants to play this guy more, there's no doubt about it, and getting some at bats. But Ibanez got hot, which is great.
Yep.
Victorino is the center fielder who does so much defensively, even when he struggles offensively. And Jason Worth had a tremendous year in right field, so it's been tough for him to get at bats for Ben Francisco, even though he wants to get him out there once in a while.
He was a guy that was playing just about every day with the Cleveland Indians because of the injury to Grady Sizemore. Here's Pedro Feliz, and Pedro has been swinging the bat better lately. In fact, yesterday he had that 2-run home run, finished with 2 hits overall before making the final out of the ball game against the Mets. And he takes a changeup up high, or fastball up high, 1-0.
Here's his home run that he hit yesterday. He got a fastball. It was up a little bit, and he got on top of it. Phillies really pounded Mike Pelfrey yesterday. That's unusual. They have never really hit him that much. His pitches were up in the strike zone, and they made him pay for it. A sinker baller who pitches high will get hurt. And Pelfrey's not a guy that is a home run ball thrower, and those weren't necessarily, you know, in this ballpark sometimes some home runs are a little short, but they weren't.
No, they weren't.
They hit them yesterday.
Yeah, Utley's and Ibanez's, I mean, they were bullets. Same with Pedro's. There's Mike Pelfrey. He's only given up 4 home runs to a right-hander this year. 3-0 the count to Pedro Feliz. Take a look at Mike Pelfrey's line yesterday. 10 hits, 8 runs.
Phillies don't do that in a season against him. Score 9 and lose. That's well, there we go again, talking about it.
Francisco goes. The pitch is high. Ball 4. Pedro doesn't realize it. Or was it? I guess he called it a strike, although he didn't really signal anything. Unless I missed it. No, he didn't call anything.
It must have been 2-0.
Well, 3-1 is now the count. Now it's 3-2.
Yeah. I don't know. I missed the count too. That appeared to be slightly low.
Everybody's all confused now.
Well, that can happen.
Off the hands. That'll go back into the seats. Pedro has 4 hits and 9 at bats during this homestand. And he is the Phillies' leading hitter with runners in scoring position. And that's been that way for a little more than a month now. And it has been at different parts during the season. Oh, that ball was smoked over the tarp.
Yeah, that skipped. Everybody's okay. It looks like they're clapping down there. A lot of pitches already for Maine. And Takahashi looked like he was probably just up. He had pitched 2 days, at least 2 days in a row.
Right.
He was just up to see if he could go today because there's nobody up now. See, their pen's quiet. Guy with a bullseye out there wants a baseball.
Off the end of the bat. And Sullivan will settle under it, make the catch, and 1 away. We talked about all the crowds that have been coming here to this ballpark. Over 3 million fans have come through the gates. Well, there's still some home games left, including that 4-game series against the Houston Astros. Now, Tuesday the 29th, Wednesday the 30th, and Thursday the 1st, there are still seats available for 3 of the 4 games against the Astros. So log on to Phillies.com and make your purchase today. One away with a runner in scoring position. Paul Bacco, the batter. Bacco hitting .203. A couple of homers, 6 RBIs, and the count, no balls and 1 strike to him. Bacco has 16 hits against the Mets for his career, and 6 runs batted in. 1 for 2 against John Maine. There's Carlos Ruiz, who's swinging a hot bat, but he gets the first of this day-night doubleheader off. No doubt be there in game 2. Another daylight play on. Francisco is back easily. He's getting a very good secondary lead off the bag, and that's why Maine has peeked back and now thrown back to try to keep him close. This is really keeping him close at second base. 2 balls and 1 strike to count. John Maine had surgery last year after the season came to a close. He had something impinging on a muscle in the back of his right arm. So he had that surgery, thought he was okay when spring training rolled around, but just didn't have any life on his fastball. That one hit toward second base. Anderson Hernandez is over. Over to third goes Francisco, 2 away. So Bacco's retired for the second out, and Kyle Kendrick, who has not batted in the big leagues this year, is a lifetime 124 hitter in the majors, and a guy who had only 15 at-bats in the minor leagues this year will get a chance to dig in. Kyle is a good athlete, so maybe he can make a little contact here.
Yeah, when he was a starting pitcher for the Phillies, he was a guy that could help himself a little bit.
It's that one down the line. It's looking foul.
And Maine made a mistake there, a little bit of a runner in, and you know, he's opening up anyway, the way all pitchers do. They're bailing.
This is the crowd right now.
Somebody must have made a good catch out there.
It's either that or they're trying to get. They were surprised Kyle made contact. They want a little bit more.
Well, if he throws it away, it's a little tougher. That's why when you get a pitch middle in to a pitcher like that, they're bailing. You're going right into their happy zone. Every once in a while, it'll hit their bat. You know, the average hitting guys.
Right. 2-2 the count.
That's why a lot of times you're going to see pitches away, because they're pulling off and they can't get to them. Maine is not sharp and really struggling, but they have only gotten 1 run off him so far.
Three and two now to Kendrick.
Looks like he's kind of slinging the ball too.
That's not a good sign when you're not able to get that extension as a pitcher. The final diagnosis that he had this year with Jimmy Rollins waiting on deck was from Dr. James Andrews, who said just take 3 weeks off, and that's what he did. And now he's back trying to pitch here in September. And Kendrick stays alive.
.44 pitches. And you're looking at 3 innings away he's going. If they adhere strictly to that 65 count or in that area.
And Kyle is down looking on strikes, and the inning is over. So the Phillies strand a runner in scoring position. Over at third, we've completed 2. It's 1-0 Phils. Form section for all the information, and please submit your answer on the subject line. Question is, who is the oldest player in MLB history to hit a home run? Wheels, it's not Jamie Moyer, just so you know.
No, he never hit one.
Nope. The answer will be revealed in the 7th inning. And that youngster has not played enough games.
It's right below
qualify.
us. Right below us down here in the club level.
Yep.
A couple rows below us.
Still in the shadows are the folks in the Hall of Fame club. Down below, getting into the sunshine, and a gorgeous afternoon for baseball. I mean, it is really clearing out nicely. Blue skies up above. A great day to be at the park, and it's a great day to be here for 2 games.
Great day to be outside, huh? Wow.
Weather is certainly better than it was earlier this year when that game was rained out.
Well, this time last year, the Phillies were in New York for a weekend series. Got rained out on Saturday afternoon, big tropical storm, then played a day-night doubleheader on Sunday.
Well, John Main's going to stay in the ball game. He's ahead 1 ball and no strikes as we start the top of the 3rd. And that's a strike on the outside corner to him. Kyle Kendrick down in Lehigh Valley, his last 8 starts, his ERA was 2.54. So he was around the plate. He was getting the ground ball, and talking to the folks who watched him play, watched him pitch, Dave Huppert, who's his manager, who's here in Philadelphia. And they said that more than anything, his sinker was working effectively, and his secondary pitches were there too. But it was his sinker that was really working effectively his last few starts down in Lehigh Valley, which again is his bread and butter. Back toward the middle. Jimmy's going to wait for an easy hop. And Maine is retired for the first out. So 1 away here in the top of the 3rd. Well, we mentioned the other night that we are going to bring to life some of the folks who are so helpful to us behind the scenes on the Phillies television network. And today we are going to honor Matt Wolf, one of our camera operators, 35 years old today. There's Matt. Always like his style of haircut more than others. Most memorable games, the 2008 World Series. You know, when I was going through the stands, Matt every once in a while would have the camera that would follow me around from place to place.
We missed that from you. I don't know whether you missed doing it, but there were some great moments and some moments.
Matt was with me when we went to the Hyatt Inside Pub, Wheels, last year.
That was one of those.
We introduced it.
Right.
We introduced that great facility to you.
I enjoyed that.
Here's Angel Pagad.
Especially
count 1 ball and 1 strike to him.
Especially the aftermath.
Pagad struck out his first time up. He has 17 hits here in the month of September, which is 3rd most in the league. Seems to be one of those guys that's played himself into the conversation for an everyday role next year, depending on what the Mets decide to do with their outfield.
Well, he has some tools. He can run. Switch hitter.
Kyle knocks that one down. Self-defense, hurries the throw, 2 away. That'll wake you up on a Sunday afternoon.
And if you're a sinker ball pitcher, be loose, because all sinker ball pitchers have a lot of balls hit back at them. And you have to be able to field your position, because you pitch away a lot with sinkers, and left-handed hitters will hit them back at you.
I think that may have gotten his arm, his pitching arm.
Let's see if it hit his glove or what. It was a belly shot.
Yeah, it didn't hit his arm, it hit his belly.
So they're going to go out and check him out, make sure he's okay.
He's saying he's all right. He's telling Paul Emmel, the home plate umpire, he's okay.
Yeah, it's better hit his belly than his arm.
Mark Anderson, Phillies athletic trainer, out there with Rich Doobie. They're going to let him throw a pitch or two. Kyle has waited so long for this opportunity. And he's not going to want to get out of this game anytime soon.
No.
There's Mark.
Ball was hit hard, too.
It was.
That was not a comebacker.
Well, 2 outs. And let's take a listen in as this ball comes back to the box. Kind of heard that faint thud. Anderson Hernandez struck out his first time up. And a sinker taken outside. I think these guys are so refined because they're in the big leagues, but Kendrick over the last year has changed the grip of that changeup so many times just to try to find one that works. And he's finally settled on the same grip he uses for his sinker.
Well, there's all different kinds of grips for changeups, but the whole key to a changeup is your arm speed. Because it doesn't matter how you grip it or how you throw it. If you stop or hesitate or do something in your delivery, hitters will see it right away. And you have to have the same arm speed as you do in your other pitches.
His grip is, basically the same, but the ball is just deeper in his hand. I guess the thought is if he's gripping it the same, then his arm speed, the way it looks, will be the same.
Yeah, well, it's all an individual. You hear people talk about it all the time, pitchers with changeups. They just find something that works for them. But then it's the arm speed after that.
Soft chopper, and it should be 3 straight ground balls, and is that helped Kyle Kendrick get through this 3rd inning. So Kendrick has pitched well through the first 3 innings this afternoon. We head to the bottom of the 3rd. The Phillies leading at 1-0 with the top of the order due up. Low office product prices. By Dodge, live strong, live bold, live now. Dodge, grab life. And by Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines is ready when you are. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. So up top, in the upper deck here at the ballpark, bright sunshiny afternoon. You're going to need those sunglasses. And off to the left is Harry the Caves, where we were the other day, and had a chance to have those cheesesteak. I guess they're cheesesteak egg rolls, but they were unbelievable.
Yeah, and the guys out there made us a cheeseburger too, which is really good. Thank you.
That's a good place to be right now.
Sure, we'll stop out there again sometime.
Jimmy Rollins leads it off here in the bottom of the third. Cheesesteak spring rolls is what they were, and they were really good. Jimmy flied out to right his first time up, so he's 0 for 1. And the count, 1 ball and 1 strike to him.
And somebody up in the pen as the inning begins.
Toby Stoner made his major league debut the other day for the Mets. Is up and throwing.
That's just in case.
Jimmy hits one in the air to right center field. Pagan on the run. So is Francoeur, and Francoeur closes. And Jimmy's been retired in 2 straight at bats now by Jeff Francoeur.
See him lunge at that pitch. It was an off-speed pitch, maybe a breaking ball or changeup. And that's the difference between really driving it and hitting a track ball like that. You see Maine's upset because he hung. Let's see what it is. It's a changeup. Well, it wasn't that bad. You know, it was down and away from him a little bit. You see how he's out front, though? And that little bit of a lunge at the end takes away the fact that you can't hit the ball out of the ballpark or maybe even line it into the gap.
Here's Victorino, takes a breaking ball for a strike. Chain fly to center his first time up. And he pops it up. Foul territory. David Wright retires him for the second out. Hey, if you're looking to host a corporate or social event, well, why not choose Citizens Bank Park? It's open year-round for those social events or your next corporate outing. Call 215-218-5100 or log on to Phillies.com if you're fiddling around with your computer. And go to special events. You can find out more information. We have seen and been part of some of those special events down at the Diamond Club or up here at the Hall of Fame Club. And, you know, it's a great setting. 2 away for Chase, who walked and scored his first time up. The run that Chase scored was the 100th of the season. See what he's put together since the 12th of August. A little more than a month's time. Those are pretty good numbers. $100 runs scored for Chase. It's the 4th consecutive year that he has scored 100 runs. And he's trying to reach 100 RBIs for the 5th straight year. That's big time production. 3-0 the count to Chase.
And Chase has worked in the count. The first 2 hitters in the lineup have not really worked it that much in this game. They've gone out quickly. Chase Utley worked it. Ryan Howard worked it, and they got a run off him. That doesn't mean you can't do something early in the count, but when you're facing a guy you want to get rid of quickly who's struggling, you know, it's probably a good idea to try and make him throw a lot of pitches.
Ball 4. Ooh. Ooh. My bad. 3-2.
Look tight.
I was following Chase.
Well, ran back and caught the corner. I think they're going to have to do a lot of running.
This is the 5th 3-ball count, or full count I should say, for John Maine in today's game. You would figure if he gets the final out here in the next few pitches, this is going to be his last inning of work. If 65 is the mark that they were looking for. Chase pops it up left side. David Wright, who was over at shortstop, comes running over. And the inning is over. So the Phillies go down in order. 3 straight fly balls. And we head to the 4th. David Wright will lead it off. So wonder whether he'll come out and pitch the 4th inning. They do have Toby Stoner up and loosening, but he's only allowed 1 run on 2 hits so far. And David Wright will lead things off, and this is what David did in yesterday's ball game.
Yeah, notice those balls are out over the plate. He gets those arms extended, and he generates some power. That last one was the game winning, put them at 10.
Well, 6 RBIs yesterday, and Wright's average at 317. He came into the ball game today 5th in the National League in hitting. And Kendrick got him on strikes his first time up. This time he lofts one down the right field line foul, and it's 0-1.
Yeah, that's what you were hoping even last night. You notice how when he's hitting on the outside part of the plate, he just kind of punches at that ball.
See where Wright sits as far as the Mets career leaders go. 5th with 140 home runs. 14 behind Dave Kingman. And it's 0-2. Howard Johnson's on that list as well, and he's the hitting coach for the Mets. Ojo took over for Rick Down a couple of years ago in the middle of the season. That probably doesn't make David Wright feel good when he sees a ball coming up toward his coconut.
No, not at all, because then what you start to do is visualize that ball hitting you, and then not only that, thinking about the pain that you end up getting. If he had a nice slider, that would be a pretty good pitch.
Into center field, Shane Victorino comes charging in. He didn't see it right away. 1 away. David Wright was hit by a pitch on the 15th of August by Matt Cain. And Matt Cain throws a whole lot harder than Kyle Kendrick does.
Yeah, look at the arm angle, Bob. You can see exactly where that arm angle was. Now, that ball there that he hit him with, after that pitch, he didn't have any other balls there that were inside. Again, not saying that he was trying to do it, but with that arm angle, you had no chance to throw a strike in that position.
Plus, the mound was in sunshine and the home plate area was in shadows, so it was tough to see.
Yeah, just can't see the ball. He did try and turn his head, however, to have less blow where it doesn't hit you in that facial area.
Daniel Murphy, a one-hopper, scooped up by Ryan Howard. Kendrick is there covering. Nice play all the way around. 2 away here in the 4th inning. Seven groundouts now for Kendrick in this outing.
This is a tough play that he makes it easy. One hops it there, gets it on that nice hop. Good toss there to Kyle. Could have been over a little bit. Now you see how far he does have to come over. He picks that ball. That's the way that you draw that up.
That's why they work on it from time to time during the course of the season, just to get that timing down.
Yeah, the one thing they don't work on a lot is outfielders throwing to the different bags. Might be one of the reasons you don't see a lot of plays made there.
How about Jimmy on the backhand, long throw, and he's got to hurry to get Francoeur, and it's an infield single. Man, just the fact that he got to that ball.
He's got great range from left to right, and then once he gets it, he has a above average arm as he goes deep into the hole. Not able to get much on it, but look how strong the throw is. Howard doing the right thing and not going to get the guy, come off the bag and catch the ball.
So Francoeur is at first, second hit of the day for the Mets. Each team now with 2 hits. And Corey Sullivan is at the plate. He walked his first time up. Sullivan has 28 hits in his career against the Phillies. I mean, he did play for 2 full seasons for the Rockies in 05 and 06, but he's hitting .346 against the Phillies.
Wow.
That'll slice foul and out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, numbers are even better here.
You talk about how certain players and certain pitchers feel good about pitching against different clubs, and guys feel good about hitting against different clubs. Don't know what it's all about, where you just feel comfortable more against one club than the other.
But as players, you remember, let's say, a 4-for-5 game or a series in which you had 6 hits in 3 games. So it does carry over.
Yeah, not just the club you remember. You remember the pitchers that you hit and able to get your average up.
Tried to hold, but he went around 1 and 2. I don't think it matters, though. I think that was a strike anyway. So Kendrick has worked ahead, 1 ball and 2 strikes here in the top of the 4th.
Pretty good movement on his pitches that he has, going up and out of the zone. More change-ups than sliders. Just doesn't have a good slider, which you would like to have too, though. He could learn that pitch.
There was that changeup that's hit foul. Well, when Kendrick was up here for the 2 years in 07 and 08 with the Phillies, he was a fastball slider guy, and that changeup was the problem pitch. And he's gone down, and Charlie and Rich Doobie said, listen, you got to learn to use those secondary pitches, and they say he has, and that changeup's been pretty effective today.
Yeah, just need to keep that ball down if you can.
There it was again. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, well, the news keeps getting better for the Phillies. The Nationals now lead at 5-1 over the Marlins. Pete Orr has hit a 2-run home run against Chris Volstad, who is out of the game. Again, John Lannon is pitching for the Nationals. It would be great news if the Nationals could take 2 of 3 from the Marlins.
Boy, you stay close to that Nationals team with the guys that they have that can hit. Yeah, they are in last place, but like they'll say, the record doesn't indicate what type of ball club they are, but it does indicate they haven't been getting a lot of pitching. But you get in a dogfight with those guys hitting, you could end up on the short stick there.
See the standings in the National League East. Marlins 5 games back of the Phils. The Braves have won a couple straight over the Cardinals. They're 7 back.
So Braves just won't go away. Just when you think maybe they're out to pasture, they start winning games against tough ball clubs. And Bobby Cox has a team. They can win against any ball club and have something to say about it.
In the air to left, not deep. Ibanez on the run. Under it, inning over. And Kendrick is through 4. He strands 1. We played 3.5. Phillies lead it by 1. The Big Bopper's coming up. Available with premium toppings in 3 varieties for just $3.99. McDonald's, I'm loving it. By AT&T, your world delivered. And by your local Chevy dealers. Couple of changes for the Mets as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. The new left fielder, and he'll bat at the number 9 spot, is Jeremy Reed. And he'll take over for Corey Sullivan. Toby Stoner will take over on the mound. He'll bat at the number 6 spot. Stoner made his major league debut Thursday against the Marlins. Allowed a hit in 1 inning of work. And he'll take over for John Maine. Maine went 3. I think just the fact that he was out on the mound for the first time since the 16th of June was the important part of today if you're John Maine, but he only allowed 1 run.
Well, he has a history, though, pitching well against the fighting field. It does have something to say about it. These guys will, you get out of your sick bed if you know the right guy's pitching. Let me tell you.
Who was the guy you always liked to face?
Tommy John.
His name seems to pop up a lot. Ryan Howard leads it off against Stoner. Toby Stoner split time between AA and AAA this year. He was a starting pitcher on both levels, but being used here out of the bullpen, in this case in long relief. And that's why I guess Jerry Manuel made the double switch, because he wanted him out there for a few innings and wanted to keep a good bat in the lineup. That's why Reed takes over for Sullivan. Stoner this year went 9-9 in the minor leagues, 7-7 in AAA with a 3.96 ERA, 2-2 in Binghamton with a 2.68 earned run average.
Good. Pretty good changeup. Living dangerously, however, throwing that changeup belt high inside.
Pulls that one toward the shift. Wilson Valdez, the shortstop, on the right side. And Ryan is retired, 1 away. So 6-3 on that put out. And here's Raul Ibanez. Well, it's nice to see Sarge Raul continue to swing the bat well in yesterday's ball game against the Mets, just to keep putting these games together and these at-bats together that are kind of leaving his struggles in the rearview mirror.
Yeah, just a little bit of a struggle there in the second half, or getting back after the injury. Just didn't seem to get to the ball as quick as he normally does. That's a ball there that he usually pounds. But when you're not sure about your swing, you end up taking a little bit more pitches, and taking pitches that normally you wouldn't if you were hot.
I thought his home run swing yesterday was the clearest indication that he was swinging like he swung the first half of the year. It just looked the same.
Yeah, I think, though, to be able to determine just the balls that he hits and hitting hard, like to the gap, the way we've seen him hit some balls to left center. You know, getting to the ball yesterday, which was big for him.
Well, there's a big curve that he misses, and he's down on strikes. So 2 away. Well, as we continue our tour around the ballpark and the booth and the press box, we're going to bring our buddy Carl Graber in. Carl has been our statistician here in this booth for a number of years and does a great job. He also finds his way up to New York when we're at Citi Field, and finds his way down to Washington somehow when we're down in D.C. Carl, whose most memorable game was Terry Mulholland's. Was that his no-hitter that was your most memorable game? I thought it was when Mulholland had the ball stuck in his glove and threw the glove over to first base. But also, one of Carl's other fond memories was Steve Bedrosian with all of his blown saves the one year with the Phillies. Carl does a great job. Now, why is Steve Bedrosian and his blown saves one of your fondest memories? Well, Carl is relaying to us that it's the correlation to Brad Lidge having his blown saves this year, the 10 blown saves. So Carl's, marrying the 2 seasons. He's a stats guy. That's what he does.
What place did they take that year?
Well, they didn't win the division. Let's hope it doesn't continue that way.
That might have been one of the reasons, because of those blown saves.
Francisco in the air, deep to left field. That's going to generate something. A home run for Ben Francisco. Fourth home run in a Phillies uniform. And the Phils go out on top 2-0. And Jenna Reed of Winona, New Jersey, you've just won $200. Courtesy of the McDonald's home run jackpot.
Now, maybe from being in that American League there, you end up learning how to hit the breaking ball, and he's been doing a good job in doing that. First time up, he yanked a couple of balls foul. Now watch this breaking ball. Slow feet will make sure you snap that bat right through the zone, and he does. Didn't get out by many, but it did.
Well, the Phillies lead it now 2-0. Pedro Feliz the batter. It would usually be at this point that Carl would hand us a stat to back up that home run by Ben Francisco, and that's why he is as good as he is, and we appreciate all of his hard work and all the miles that he puts on his now dead car. So Carl, thank you very much.
Car's not working anymore.
Pedro Feliz, a chopper to third. David Wright throws him out. The inning is over, but the Phillies get another run on the solo home run by Ben Francisco. His fourth of the year. Watch this shot. That's a beauty. Powerful forces of good and evil collide. The must-see action adventure Legend of the Seeker. Tonight at 8 on MyPHL 17. Top of the fifth. Phillies lead it 2-0. And Josh Toll takes a pitch inside. And a little low. Toll singled his first time up. Towards center field, Victorino on the run. It's going to drop in front of him. Second hit of the day for Toll. He hasn't hit either base hit especially hard. But it's a leadoff single, and for the first time today, the Mets have the leadoff batter aboard. And it'll bring Wilson Valdez to the plate. So Toll now with 6 hits in the big leagues. Guy that was brought up from Double-A. The Phillies have taken such a head and shoulders lead over the Mets in so many categories, and one of those categories is the farm system. The Mets don't have a whole lot coming up through the system. The Phillies seem to have a whole lot ready to pop up. whether it be Kyle Drabeck, whether it be Michael Taylor, Dominic Brown. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Now that's what you like, younger players being able to put a little pressure on the veteran guys and coming up. This happens, you know, all the time. It'll make those younger players that are in spring training that much more hungry to, if not make the club, have a good year so you can get called up.
The other thing it does, it also helps when you try to balance the payroll and you have certain contracts that may have, may exceed your budget, and you want to fill the voids from those players with some guys that are coming through the system.
Well, you like them to be good athletes and coming through the system, and that's what the system is for, not only to bring guys up, but to make your parent club stronger. They need a particular player like they did. They went out and got Cliff Lee. That's what it's all about.
1-2 the count to Wilson Valdez. He skies that one foul. There is Cliff Lee, as Sarge was talking about, and Jay Happ was one of those guys who had been rumored to be going in specific deals, and Phillies were able to hang on to him, which is good news. Back toward the middle, J-Roll has it, scoops to Utley in time to get Toll. What a play by Jimmy Rollins, just to get to that ball and then to be able to get a clean toss on the backhand to Chase.
Well, he's just getting better and better. What he did on that play is didn't rush it after he went down and actually got the ball. They played so many years here together. Now look how he just gathers himself, not trying to get two, just making sure that you got one. As you see Chase as he holds that glove up. Yep, I got him. Bang, bang.
Jeremy Reed, the batter. This could be two. Utley to second for one. J-Roll hesitates and still gets the throw over there. A 4-6-3 double play. J-Roll was going to throw that a little earlier, but Valdez, I think, was in his sights. But he's still able to finish off the inning with another ground ball out. The Phillies as well. As we go to the bottom of the fifth inning, Paul Bacco is going to lead it off. And Sarge, I don't know if you got a chance to walk through the office the last couple of days, but it looks like somebody has joined you as an author.
Yeah, 37 years of it in the
That's
booth.
right.
Chris Wheeler, A View from the Booth, he calls it.
Well, this is the new book written by Chris Wheeler. It's a much larger book than what Gary Matthews had. with his Phillies Confidential.
Yeah.
This is the little brother. This is the big brother.
You really got to go through the substance, though. Okay. And again, this is confidential, and I'm sure this is going to be good reading, though. A view from the booth.
Well, just thinking about what he wrote and what he's going to do at his first book reading. There is Chris Wheeler. We want to congratulate our partner on this book. It's a great read when you do get a chance to get it. It really is. And there's some super thoughts in here, not only about Wheels' career here in the booth, but also about the day that Harry passed away, which was difficult for everybody. And some of Wheels' thoughts on that day were just unbelievable. And then, of course, we go to the backside of the book as Paul Bacco is behind in the count 1-2 to lead off the bottom of the fifth inning. And we had one of these photos taken earlier this year where we were all doing the Wheeler. And you all remember the Wheeler, which was the dance that Wheels did after the Phillies won the World Championship. Well, Miles Kennedy, our photographer here at the Phillies, I think Wheels knows he's on TV. Miles got us to do the Wheeler with one of our team photos, and that's on the back cover of the book. But in all seriousness, as Bacco rolls one to the right side, and Stoner's going to take care of him. We want to wish Wheels the best of luck with this book. It's a great read if you get a chance to go out and get a copy of it. And I know we're both looking forward to reading the whole thing.
No doubt about it. He dedicated the book there to his mom and dad, and of course Renee, his best friend, that he said, which is Doug. And I can hardly wait for him to actually do a book signing. I'm going to be in line, but he only has 10 free copies, so we're going to get a chance to see.
This is a borrowed copy that we have.
Who his really close friends are.
And there's a foreword by Tim McCarver, which is outstanding as well. And I think we're going to have a contest to see which book we can get through quicker, yours or Wheels.
Well, let's start. Okay.
Kyle Kendrick is the batter with one away, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike to Kendrick. Now, in case you don't know what we're talking about when it comes to the Wheeler, here it is. This is the Wheeler. This is the dance that Wheels put together at the end of the World Championship last year. Harry's great call, and Wheels was trying his best to just stay quiet and just was letting everything out with that little dance.
But you know what, too? That's professional to let, the play-by-play guy go on and make that call on that, and he just had to do something, in which he did. Notice it was cold that day because he had on his leather jacket. Extremely happy, though.
And Kendrick is down looking on strikes for the second out here in the fifth inning. So 2 away, and back to the top of the order for Jimmy Rollins. Jimmy is 0 for 2. He's flied out to right twice. Jimmy's taken a couple pitches in this at bat.
You'd like, though, the early part to take as many pitches as you can. That way your teammates are able to see a little bit of movement on the pitches. And then if he doesn't, it would be up to Victor Reno to do just the same thing. They should one swing at the pitch first time up, and then 2 pitches, another pitch swung at him.
And there's a base hit for Jimmy right off the hands into right field. Second hit against Stoner. The Phillies have a 2-out base runner here in the bottom of the fifth inning.
Now jammed on that one, muscled that ball into right field.
Let's see if Shane can duplicate that with this at bat. He's flied to center, and he's also popped out to third.
Now this is usually when you'll see Davey come out and take the watch out and get a little time from home plate to first. And he'll relay that over to J-Row. If he says 1-3, 1-4, they're off to the races. If he's 1-2 to the plate, that's pretty much where they might just stay at bay.
Stoner's keeping Jimmy close. Jimmy has stolen 28 bases this year. I thought it was great the other day when I was asking Davey about his words of advice to the base stealers. And you see Jimmy 12 straight steals. Chase is the longest active streak. And I said, do you mind if the first baseman hears you, give your words of encouragement, or if you tell the base runner to go? He goes, no. What are they going to do? In the air to right field. Francoeur heading back to the warning track, to the wall. Gone! It carried out! A 2-run home run for Shane Victorino. It's his 10th of the year. He is the 8th Philly to reach 10 home runs in a season. Not only that, individually, he has reached a quadruple double, and the Phillies lead it 4-0.
Yeah, the other thing, Tom, you like about that, each one of these runs have been actually 2 outs before they've scored. It just shows you some of the determination of the team. Okay, here we go, Cadillac time. This ball hit in an area, it just kept carrying and carrying. You see how the ball blows out. Had a nub there on it. That's what happens. You split your concentration, worrying about a guy stealing, get the fastball in the wrong spot. See you later.
I wonder if he was using Matt Stairs' bat for that home run. Matt's looking at it right now. Matt usually has that bat with the red stripe on it up above the hands.
Well, when he was putting it in, whatever bat it was, he slammed it.
Well, here's Chase, who's 0 for 1 with a run scored. It's 0-2. Quadruple double, which we mentioned that Shane has reached with that home run. He has reached double digits in home runs, doubles, triples, and stolen bases. And it's the first time in his career that he's been able to reach that individual milestone. And those fans are acknowledging that little mohawk that he has. And it's 1-2 to Chase.
Yeah, that's a little bit different. You like it?
Well, it's not certainly a look that I can ever prescribe to.
I told him he was just looking for attention.
How did that go over?
Said I was just I was jealous. That's usually his favorite line.
There is that little mohawk that we were talking about. The fan has it over top of the Phillies logo, and Shane has it over top of his head. I said to him today, it's growing in a little bit. He went, yeah. I think he's thinking about letting it grow around it now.
Yeah, one of the few guys that can continue to talk while they're drinking water. Loves to talk.
Three balls, 2 strikes, the count, Dudley. Second time today, Chase is walked. And it means that Ryan Howard will get a chance to bat with 2 outs and a runner aboard. Dan Worthen, the pitching coach, is going to come out and talk to Toby Stoner. John Maine started this game for the Mets. He went the first 3, allowed 2 hits and 1 run, a walk and 2 strikeouts. And the first run for the Phillies came back in the first. This was a sizzler off the bat of Ryan Howard.
Boy, it sure was. Right in the right spot, right off of his glove, hits the wall, and Chase coming through, getting in easily.
That RBI for Ryan was 118 for the season.
He just hits the ball so hard, and that ball there had a little bit of a sink to it. Tells you that he was on top of the ball.
Out in front of that breaking ball, so it's no balls and 1 strike to Ryan. There goes Chase. Pitch is swung on and missed. The throw to second. Not in time. 21 straight steals for Chase Utley without getting caught. 19th stolen base of the year. And he's in scoring position.
Oh, what a great jump. Stole that ball with no base, with no problem. Look at the jump that he gets. Little pop-up slide there. Great jump. Well, having the luxury again, he gets there. He knows the time of what the pitcher is to the plate. Get that right count, and you're able to go.
And Ryan smokes one to right, top spin it all right into the glove of Jeff Francoeur, and the inning is over. He does hit it hard. That one, though, was right at Francoeur. Shane Victorino, though, has given the Phillies a 4-run lead with a 2-run bomb. All Pedro has done is win. Sitting 119 games above 500, he continues to earn W's in a Phillies uniform. The right-hander delivered back-to-back wins in his last 2 starts, giving up just 4 earned runs in 13 2/3 innings pitched, while striking out 13 Giants and Nationals. The wins might be harder to come by than they were in the late 90s, but they keep coming. And they are brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. We're here for you every step of the way. Well, tonight's game 2 of the day-night doubleheader will feature Pedro Martinez. Hopefully the weather's as nice tonight as it has been today. I mean, it is a gorgeous afternoon with some great sights. I mean, look how great the ballpark looks from the upper deck here at Citizens Bank Park. As we begin the top of the 6th inning, blue skies up above. Angel Pagano lead things off for the Mets. He's 0 for 2.
Yeah, you really like double headers as a hitter. When you're getting hits, you can really do a lot of damage in 2 games if you're hitting the ball the way that you should.
Well, you just got the feeling today, Sarge, that this was as important a set of games as the Phillies have had. And you never want to overstate important this, important that, big game here, big game there. But, you know, the Marlins are within 5 playing the Nationals. You have 2 against a team that's kind of like the Nationals and the Mets. I mean, you got to take care of business, and after losing the way they lost yesterday, these were 2 important games.
Yeah, that's the point. And the way that you end up losing the ball game yesterday, where you almost feel that you have that game kind of stored away, and then all of a sudden, bam, 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 and you're on the losing end of it.
Well, that sign, as young as that fan was that was holding up that sign, is right on, and that's exactly the thought that the Phillies had coming into this year, was focus on today, and that's exactly the thought coming into today's ball game. To the right side, Chase to the glove side, hurries the throw in time and gets Pagan 1 away. Visit the official online shop of the Phillies at Phillies.com. Browse the largest online selection of authentic team gear, including official caps, t-shirts, jerseys, collectibles, and more. And now check out the newly added Phillies Authentic section, featuring authenticated game-used items, memorabilia, as well as autographed items. Get your gear straight from the source. ShopThePhillies.com shop. And all around this ballpark, you see different shirts and hats, items that folks have purchased at Phillies.com. And Kyle Kendrick has another out on a ground out. This one to Utley again, 2 away.
Yeah, that's how you can tell, Tom, he's on his game when he's getting the ground balls. More importantly, you like it when they're swinging at the first pitch and getting ground balls. I don't like the fly balls because when he's getting fly balls, it means he's getting the ball up some in the zone. Kyle, not one of those pitchers that can get away with that consistently, throwing high in the zone.
He's retired David Wright both times today, a strikeout and a flyout to center field. So Wright's 0 for 2. And that'll be back into the seats. No balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, that pitch that David has been hitting, you throw him more kind of middle. He has been bailing some since he has been hit. When you get the ball up in the zone, he kept his hands back yesterday and was able to hit 2 balls out of the ballpark. You see he's asking for that ball inside, and that would probably be a sinker that he would throw inside. Choke that off a little bit, not just let the ball go freely. You just don't want to leave it out in the middle of the plate. If that ball moves, you want it to be moving toward in or just nipping the outside part of the plate.
Now that was in, and it's a pop-up to shallow right. Utley under it, and Chase has had a hand in all 3 outs here in the top of the 6th inning. 1, 2, 3 go the Mets. This is a heck of a job by Kyle Kendrick this afternoon. Efficient midsize. Drive one today. By Bud Light, with just the right taste that never fills you up. The difference is drinkability. And by Thomas Jefferson University Hospitals. Call 1-800-JEF-NOW. Last of the 6th inning, Phillies lead at 4-0. Phillies trying to increase their lead in the National League East on a day in which they have a day-night doubleheader. And Chase Utley's glove is getting a little manicuring. Look at that. It's got some medical tape wrapped around it. Mark Anderson, the Phillies athletic trainer, who is a jack of all trades. Not only can he beat Sarge in a race, but he also can fix a glove with the best.
He couldn't beat a turtle in a race. You kidding me?
1-2 the count to Ibanez.
All trainers, though, need to, or most of them, they know how to string the glove up, especially, though, in the minor leagues. You get that constantly. Guys in the major leagues have a lot more gloves, and that must be probably one of Chase's favorite gloves that he uses.
Ibanez pulls one foul. toward the arcade level on the right field side. Well, Mark is fixing that one, and I guarantee it's going to be ready by the time the Phillies go out and play defense. I mean, there's a lot of strings that have to be reattached there. He's like a pit crew guy from an auto race. Ibanez hits it hard. He's got a base hit. That leads off the bottom of the 6th inning. Well, we also want to say thank you to Josh Schrager, who is our runner here on the Phillies television network, and he's built like a runner. You see how slender Josh is, so he has to be in good shape to be able to run the way he does. Josh is a student at Temple University, so he roots for his Owls, but also roots for his Phillies. And his most memorable game was 2007 when the Phillies clinched the National League East title with Brett Myers on the mound and Chris Coste behind the plate. Josh does a great job, and we see Josh every once in a while during the offseason at basketball games, at Big 5 games. As Francisco skies one to shallow left, Reed makes the grab. And it's one away. Now, Sarge, as you know, I'm not sure if the viewers know, that Josh is called a runner because he will run from spot to spot in the ballpark if somebody needs something, or run from the ballpark over to our studios across the street at the Wachovia Center when stuff needs to go back and forth between these two facilities.
I've actually seen him do that, and you can put one more in there as he runs to get your Diet Coke on a daily basis.
I knew you were going to try to slide that one in there.
I'm just calling it the way it is.
What about your water?
Every now and then.
Well, thank you, Josh. I want to know the count to Pedro. Pedro pops it up. Reed was pretty deep, so he's got to come trotting in. That's the second out. All right, this is the path that Josh runs from there over to where that camera is. So again, you have to have good shoes and be in good shape.
Well, I'll say,
like you or I, we could not be runners.
We could get there. They have
golf carts.
Okay.
Here's Baco, and that pitch is low. Baco's 0 for 2. He's grounded out twice. Once to second, once back to the mound.
And Baco's been getting jammed. Needs to get the head out on one of those fastballs as he gets a changeup.
There's Chase. And there's the progress on his glove. Looks like he's working in a new glove just in case. On the inside corner, 1 and 2. Chase is trying to get that extra glove ready just in case Mark is not able to get that one fixed. I have confidence in Mark Anderson, though. That one looks a little newer.
Yeah, it doesn't have that tape on it.
Here's that medical tape Sarge was talking about. And Baco is down on strikes. I'm not sure if Mark Anderson's going to be ready for the top of the 7th inning. We shall see. Phillies lead it 4-0. I think Chase Utley's going to go to work with a new glove.
Great to be back with all you thigh slappers here in the booth. Ha ha ha.
Well, we're just trying to sell your book for you.
Oh, I can imagine how you tried to do that. Here's our Verizon Wireless game summary. Good job by Shane Victorino, a quadruple double. That's a heck of an accomplishment. Ben Francisco also with a home run. And Kyle Kendrick, he has been really good. He has 12 ground ball outs.
12 ground ball outs as Daniel Murphy leads things off, and he's been delivering first pitch strikes for most of the afternoon. Phillies lead this one 4-0 down in Florida. The Nationals lead the Marlins 7-1.
Looks like it's raining. Looks like a rain delay sign out there.
They had a lot of rain yesterday. That game didn't get started for. The game was about 3 hours late in getting started.
That's a shame because John Lennon was really dealing going along in that game, and you know, they may lose him now to the rain delay.
On the hands again. Good pitch by Kendrick into center field. Victorino with the sunglasses on battles the breeze. One away. Well, these lucky fans are today's Citizens 7, who will each receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com.
Well, Kyle came right out, Tom, as you were talking about right away today, and established that changeup.
There's Chase Utley. Looks like he does have a new glove out there. Mark Anderson was there. Mark's working on his glove.
Yeah, well, the trainers are unbelievable the way that's always been. Trainers can fix anything, and they've always been good at sewing gloves, putting the new rawhide or leather into those gloves. You mentioned right away how he was using his changeup so effectively. He put it in their heads right out of the chute, and you know, then it makes his sinker so much better. And he's mixed in some sliders or cutters, whichever they are, maybe both.
And Francoeur is going to have his second hit of the day. But even that one right there, I mean, that wasn't hit overly hard by Francoeur.
He got in on him. It's a movement there on it looked like a sinker, and he got in on him. And he's done a really good job with his pitches. Look at the last, well, the fifth inning, 8 pitches, the sixth inning, 9. Now we're in the 7th. And even the other ones are not bad. Keep them in the area of 15. That's usually pretty good.
Yeah, the 8-pitch inning was that double play that finished it. And he had 2 groundouts and a pop out last inning. Fernando Tatis will pinch hit for the pitcher, Toby Stoner, with 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning. And the count 1 ball and no strikes. Tatis hitting .275 on the year, 7 home runs, 40 runs batted in.
No activity in the Phillies bullpen. Tatis got that big hit yesterday. You know, the place was going nuts. Looked like maybe the game's over. 2 outs, nobody on base, and he's a tough out. And he sliced that thing down the first baseline, and of course David Wright hit the first pitch homer.
There's Lance Broadway.
That's a good name for New York, huh?
Yeah. Lance Broadway probably coming in for Toby Stoner.
Well, especially Broadway, that fits.
The air to left field, not that deep. It's hooking toward the seats, and it's out of play.
Sounded like he broke his bat. He did.
He did, yeah. And Francoeur goes back to first. You know, we talked about Paul Bacco doing the catching today with Kyle Kendrick on the mound, and you knew that Bacco was going to catch either today's game or tonight's game. But you got to give him credit too, because he is marrying Kyle Kendrick to that changeup, or at least did in the first part of this ball game, and has kind of forced him. And there's always a game plan, but forced him to use that changeup to do, like you said, to get into the hitters' heads that it's there. Slow roller, left side. Pedro has 1 play. It's to first, and he gets Tatis. 2 away.
Sure, before the game they talked about it a lot. Rich Doobie and Bacco, and what they want to do with Kendrick and make sure he throws this thing. Well, he started out by throwing a changeup right there and struck out Pagan. Then he struck out Hernandez on a high changeup. Then threw a fastball by David Wright in the first inning. And Now he's been able to sink enough pitches down and away, especially from the left-handed hitters, get a double play ball, get a lot of ground outs. In this inning, he has one more, so that's 13 ground outs in this inning. And Rich Doobie has to be very happy with what he's watching right now.
Yeah, talking to Rich, we said before, I asked him before the ball game, what do you think? He said, I'm not sure what to expect. He said, we're hoping that the reports are true on Kyle, that he's made the adjustments and that he's going to throw as well today as he has over his last few starts in AAA. And, well, if he threw this well in AAA, then the Iron Pigs must have been pretty good in the games he pitched.
Yeah, I was just talking to Dave Hollins over in the press box. Everybody knows who Dave Hollins is from the '93 Phils and other years with him, and he works with the Orioles now as a scout. And he said he had seen Kendrick in AAA this year and was impressed with him. The first thing came out of out of Dave Hollins' mouth was, boy, you really came up with a good changeup, he said. And, you know, that was without even prompting him to talk about the changeup. So there's a guy watching him objectively and saying that it's a much better pitch for him now.
1-1 the count to Toll, who has 2 hits today. And he's got a runner in scoring position now in the top of the 7th.
Yeah, it's not a situation like the Mets had with John Maine today, where they knew that he was going to be limited pitch count. Guys coming off rehab, you have to worry how long he can go. Kendrick stretched out as a starter.
He's behind 3 balls and 1 strike to Toll, with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning. The on deck hitter is Wilson Valdez.
They play him way over to left center field with Victorino. Big gap in right center. And he does seem like it's not even an inside out swing as much as a little bit late. Looks like he tries to wait on the ball and hit it the other way. And you see all this room out here because they have him shifted over into that area, especially with 2 strikes on him. Even though it's a full count, it's a hitter's count. They're not going to give up and look for this guy to pull even in a 3-2 count.
A line drive toward right field. That's in for a base hit. Rounding third, holding there is Francoeur. The throw cut off by Howard. That's a good job of Ben Francisco hitting the cutoff man, keeping the runner at first. And the Mets have runners on first and third. Toll, who hit 2 balls the opposite way in his first 2 at-bats for base hits, now has a single to right field, so he's 3 for 3.
Well, he did pull that ball, and that's because the count was 3-2.
And Mick Billmeyer on the phone. And it's going to be a left-hander, it looks like, that's going to be up and throwing, and then Tyler Walker as well. So Rich Doobie's going to go out to the mound and talk to Kyle Kendrick. Hey, if you want to be part of what has been an exciting year here at Citizens Bank Park and capitalize on it next year, well, the Phillies are taking full and partial ticket plan deposits for 2010. That's right. If you log on to Phillies.com or call 215-463-5000, you can chat to a representative about what's available for a partial ticket plan or the season ticket plans that are in store for next year here at Citizens Bank Park. So Escalona is the left-hander. Tyler Walker is the right-hander up in Newsome. With 2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning. And Wilson Valdez at the plate. He's 0 for 2. He's bounced into 2 fielders' choices today. First time this afternoon the Mets have gotten a runner over to third. And they've got runners on the corners with 2 outs. Slow chopper toward third. Feliz charges, off balance throw in time to retire Valdez. Kyle Kendrick is stranded 2 more here at the top of the 7th inning. He's working on a shutout. The Phillies lead it 4-0 as we stretch here at Citizens Bank Park. trivia quiz answer. Come on, Fanatic, bring it on in here. Who is the oldest player in Major League Baseball history to hit a home run? Wheels?
No idea.
Yes, you do. You know this.
I do?
Yes, you do. Oldest player to ever hit a home run in Major League Baseball history. He broke the record like 4 or 5 times himself. And it's very recent.
Not Matt Stairs.
Julio Franco.
Oh, well, he's been gone for a couple years.
Well, that's what the point of these questions
I understand that. We were saying recently.
48 years, 254 days.
When did he do that? How many years ago was that?
Seriously. 07.
That was his last year, right?
Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. Thanks for playing Dodge Stump the Fans. I thought you'd get that in a heartbeat.
No, I'm sorry. I had no clue who that was, and I would have never thought of Julio, even though I saw him play his first game.
Well, Lance Broadway is the new pitcher for the Mets as we start the bottom of the 7th inning. And he will face Kyle Kendrick, and then the top of the order. I had to look down to see if Kyle was out there in the on-deck circle, and he is out there. Broadway in his 5th game in the big leagues, no wins, no losses, a 7.88 earned run average. He'll take over for Toby Stoner here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
I'd like to apologize to Matt Stairs for even throwing that out there, because if he hears about that, I mean, it'll be never end.
Well, you figure he is going to hit a home run.
Well, I just threw that at the last second because you guys are saying heard about it so much. You know, he's only, what, 41, I believe, yeah. So, you know, not the oldest player ever.
I thought maybe you'd throw Jamie out there. Jamie is 46.
But I knew he hadn't hit one.
Well, he is older, though.
True. But he had at least hit a homer.
But you didn't throw anybody out there.
No, I didn't.
Except for Matt Stairs.
As Mom and Dad used to say, son, if you don't know, say you don't know. There's nothing wrong with that.
Kyle Kendrick will lead off here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Kendrick is 0 for 2. He has struck out twice.
What a job he's done today. You talk about lifting everybody's spirits. I mean, it was a little morose today after that brutal loss yesterday. They still have 6 outs to go in this one, and the Mets stay after them. Everybody knows that. But, boy, for his guy to go 7 innings and pitch shutout ball, terrific.
Well, I also wondered how he would feel butterfly-wise because, you know, he hasn't started a game since last year. And he chops that one over the head of right. Valdez wasn't ready for it. Makes the throw. Safe at first base. Wilson Valdez thought David Wright was going to pick that one out of the air. Ball was a little too high for David Wright. Kyle Kendrick, hustling up the first base line, is able to elude the tag of Daniel Murphy.
That's a real tough play for the shortstop after Wright can't get that. What Wright did was the right thing because they almost get him anyway. The pitcher running, he knew he couldn't do anything but deflect that. And if he deflects it, it's going to be a hit. Oh, it looked like he tagged him. But he doesn't, evidently. And so he let it go and then hoped that Valdez could make the play. And he almost did.
Well, here's Jimmy Rollins. He singled and scored his last time up, and he pops it up to shallow left. Reed started back, but he has plenty of time to make the catch. So Broadway has his first out after Kyle Kendrick picked up his 12th career hit to start this inning.
Jimmy Rollins used to get a lot of those quadruple doubles, and they can be very difficult. He had 5 of them, and one year I think he finished a triple short of another one. And here's Shane picking up his first one. That's quite an accomplishment. That means speed and power. That's quite a combination for a player, and especially a little guys like Victorino and Rollins.
Well, and the triple is probably the toughest category to reach double digits in. Shane did that a little while ago. He has 11.
Well, that's why it's so hard, because normally the guys hit triples don't hit homers and vice versa.
There's Jimmy still soaking in that last at bat.
Yeah, well, he knows he had a poor at bat that time. He's facing a guy he's never seen before and jumps at a fastball away and hits that fly ball to left field.
Chopper right side. Base hit for Shane Victorino. It's his second hit of the day. Up to second goes Kendrick. Phillies have 2 runners on with 1 away. Victorino had a 3-hit day on Friday night. In fact, reached base safely all 5 times he was at the plate. So 1 out. Chase Utley, the batter. See the shadows starting to creep toward the baselines.
Now it's September. You see that this early in a game. It's not well, a little after 3 o'clock, and here come the shadows.
Bottom of the 7th inning, Phillies lead it 4-0. You see where they scored their runs, the innings they scored their runs. Hoping to put another crooked number here in the bottom of the 7th inning to go along with the 5th.
This guy looks like he's an off-speed guy with sinkers, slider, changeup. Same as Stoner, who was just in. Really not a hard thrower, threw a lot of off-speed pitches.
Guy's as smart a hitter as you're going to see in the game. Chase Utley, as Ryan waits on deck. Count is 3-0.
Well, if they give him a green light here, what he wants to do mentally is stay away from a sinker, because if it's a sinker and it's down, that's a ball you hit into a double play, and that's what they want right now to get out of this inning.
Looked like he was taken all the way, and it's 3-1.
And that looked like it was a sinker, and it was going down pretty good, and not a good pitch to hit. 3-0. Run here either. You have Kendrick, pitcher, at second base, and left-handed hitter up with a clear shot to throw to third if he strikes out. Even though you like to run on these 3-2 counts with 1 out with a sinker ball pitcher, this probably is not a good time to do it.
Little guy getting into the beat of the Fanatic as Chase Utley hits one in the air, left center field, pretty deep. Pagan on the run, so is the left fielder Reed. Kendrick is really off the second base bag, and he has to scamper back. And the wind really held that one up and held it into the ballpark.
Yeah, wind knocked that one down. That ball was crushed. That looked like a double for sure, and on some days and nights in this place it's a home run, but not today.
I was surprised that Victorino's ball went out of the ballpark. So Chase retired. 2 outs now for Ryan Howard. Phillies looking for some insurance runs here. They lead here. The Nationals and the Marlins. The Nationals lead the Marlins 7-1 in Florida. The Braves are shutting out the Cardinals 6-0.
Carpenter started that game, didn't he, today?
Yeah. I think he's still in there.
Yeah, he is 29. 33 would be Vazquez.
Yep.
Who is having a tremendous season.
On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Red Sox have defeated the Rays 3-1. That's 10 straight losses now for Tampa. Dustin Pedroia, a home run and a double. The Rays, I think it's safe to say, are officially done.
Yeah. It will be a team in the World Series. It will not be back in postseason play.
1 ball, 1 strike to count. I mean, they're not mathematically eliminated, but they needed this series against the Red Sox to get back into the wild card race at least. The Red Sox took care of business. 3 balls, 1 strike the count to Ryan. Did a nice job of laying off that off-speed pitch there.
Looked like a changeup.
Raul waits on deck.
Boy, that's some pitch to throw. 2-1 changeup to miss, and now you're really getting fastball count.
Ryan is 1 for 3. Doubled home run his first time up. And ball 4. The bases are loaded. Jerry Manuel can just sit and watch as Raul Ibanez will bat with the bases loaded. Hey fans, we invite you now through noon on Wednesday the 16th, that's this Wednesday, to register for your postseason ticket opportunities at Phillies.com. Now fans only need to register once to be eligible for all 3 rounds, the Divisional Series, the Championship Series, and, keep your fingers crossed, the World Series. Winners will be randomly selected and notified by email on a later date. This registration is the only method of public distribution for 2009 postseason tickets. Raul today is 1 for 3.
A lot of sinkers and changeups from this guy. Of course, quite a few left-handed hitters. And that's what you're going to do, is throw them sinkers and changeups.
Well, you got a sinker there in, and Raul pops it up foul. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. Three balls and 1 strike the count to Raul Ibanez with the bases loaded. It's a hitter's count. Kendricks on third. At second is Victorino and Ryan Howard at first. Nobody being held on, so Ryan gets a very good jump off first base. Francisco waits on deck. He's had a good day. And Raul chops it slowly foul.
They've had such hitters counts in this inning too. Not quite able to do anything. And there was Ibanez in another hitter's count, and he got a sinker and kind of smothered it.
Sure, that gentleman's excited that that big green thing is on his lap right now. Broadway against Ibanez.
I think that's a term for what that gentleman is.
Bases loaded. Broadway is really shaking off one spot after another. Runners go, reaches out and pulls it softly to second. Raul is retired with the bases loaded. So the Phillies go down here in the 7th inning. They threaten against Broadway, do not score. We head to the 8th. Phillies lead it by 4. Best values in America could be. By AT&T, your world delivered. By Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines is ready when you are. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. And by Bud Light, with just the right taste that never fills you up. The difference is drinkability. What a difference in the weather today. And this outing by Kyle Kendrick. The weather has changed so amazingly from one end of the spectrum to the other.
We're watching games, baseball games, college games yesterday in the Midwest, and it was so gorgeous out there that you thought, oh, I hope that stuff's headed this way. And it was. It's beautiful. Phillies, by the way, Tom, do have the bullpen up as the inning begins. Kyle Kendrick at 95 pitches through 7.
See Center City and how gorgeous that looks this afternoon. Here's Jeremy Reed batting for the second time. Takes a pitch for a ball. Escalona's the left-hander. Tyler Walker's the right-hander. Reed is grounded into a double play today. He came on as part of a double switch early. Corey Sullivan was lifted just as the starting pitcher John Maine was lifted. Kyle Kendrick has one complete game this year. That was back in June for Lehigh Valley against the Norfolk Tides.
He just has to keep throwing strikes. You don't want to walk anybody. You know, if they get on with hits, that's the way it goes. But don't walk anybody. Phillies just missed a big chance there to get more.
Broke his bat toward third. And Pedro throws him out.
Good pitch. Sinker down and away. Really an outstanding pitch.
Hey, you want to be a 2010 Phillies ball girl? Well, if you do, send a resume, a 2-minute DVD highlighting your softball skills, and why you'd be a great addition to the ball girl team. To Philadelphia Phillies, attention ball girl applicant. 1 Citizens Bank Way, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 19148. No phone calls, please, and submissions must be made by October 16, 2009. And you can join Amanda Euler and the rest of the young ladies who are this year's Phillies ball girls. They do such a great job, not only here at the ballpark, but also out in the community as well. 1 out for Angel Pagan. Kendrick has done a great job today on so many levels, but against the top 4 hitters in the lineup, they are combined 0 for 12 against him. That is huge.
That's a good way to keep teams from scoring.
And it started right out of the chute.
Yeah, when he struck out the side, he's at 102. But as you said, Tom, he's pitched all year. He's pitched a complete game. He's been a starter, so he can do this.
Back toward the middle. There's a base hit.
They still have a weapon on the bench too. They still have Beltran. Remember, you know, either side, left or right, with Beltran, and a guy can hit the ball of the ballpark. And you know they're thinking about that on the bench, whether they want Beltran right or left, or who they want him to hit off. And there's Beltran starting to think about, I may be close to stepping up there.
Well, and they may or may not have Sheffield. We just don't know. He's on the card, but who knows from day to day how his back is. Anderson Hernandez, the hitter, with 1 out. And Kendrick delivers a sinker for a strike.
And Beltran, you know, hit a home run yesterday, almost hit another one. So there's a guy, you know, you fear him, especially here.
Right center field. That's well hit. Victorino on the run to the warning track, and it's gone. Anderson Hernandez has hit just his 2nd home run of the year, and the Mets have made this a 4-2 game. Anderson Hernandez of all people.
Yeah, that ball's not carrying that great out there, too. He really nailed that. That was a point we were just making last inning, though, about how you want to get more runs. The Mets have nothing to lose right now. They are playing the Phillies really tough, and you wanted to extend that lead. And you know the Phillies did, too, and they weren't able to do it. Now, all of a sudden, here we go again. You're in a game. And they're using the long ball very effectively the last couple of days. A high sinker, and he hits it out towards the bullpen and into the bullpen.
Well, Kyle Kendrick's day is done. He did everything he could this afternoon to help the Phillies out. And this crowd, this sold-out crowd, is already showing their appreciation. Charlie Manuel grabs the baseball. Kyle Kendrick's first start of 2009 is done with, and these fans certainly loved it today. Bullpen for the second consecutive day to try to finish this one off. Yesterday, Jamie Moyer left with a 4-run lead. And you see Kyle's line, 7 1/3, 7 hits, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. That line is official. And he'll give way to teammate Tyler Walker's 23rd game. He's 1-0 with a 1.71 earned run average, and he has pitched very well for the Phillies since coming up on July 23rd from Lehigh Valley. And he's on to face David Wright, who's 0 for 3. Wright is struck out. He's popped out twice, once to center, once to second. That's a strike. 2-1. Clay Condrey, who Walker seems to be filling the void for in that bullpen, although he's done a lot more than just that. He's going to pitch in another rehab assignment tomorrow for Lakewood. Lakewood is beginning the final round of the South Atlantic League playoffs. They won the opening round by sweeping 3 games as Durbin and Escalona throw in the bullpen, and Clay is going to throw another rehab assignment tomorrow. He pitched yesterday for Reading, gave up a couple of runs to the Akron Arrows. And there's Beltran, just in case the Mets need him. To second base, good pitch by Walker. It's spinning right to Chase Utley, and 2 away.
That's a really good job by Tyler Walker. You know, we weren't on the air yesterday, but you know, you couldn't help but watch those off-speed pitches that he was hitting out of the ballpark, and the trouble that he was having with hard stuff, especially hard stuff away. So he goes hard stuff away, finally threw a slider there, and you see David Wright, he's opening up a little bit. And, you know, you get hit in the head, you're going to open up a little bit for a while. You know, it's just one of those things. And it's a lot of courage involved in him staying in there. But when you throw soft stuff, and it's soft stuff middle in, you have, even if you pull off a little bit, it's right in that hitting zone. And that's what happened yesterday.
And 6 RBIs in yesterday's ball game. Here's Daniel Murphy. He's hitless in 3 at-bats this afternoon. And he pops it up. Hit the 1-0 right over the mound. Pedro Feliz, the third baseman. Jimmy Rollins, the shortstop. J-Roll makes the call, and the inning is over. Nice job by Tyler Walker. 14 straight scoreless innings for him. Today, in relief of Kyle Kendrick, we go to the bottom of the 8th. The upper deck, you see the shadows creeping past the third base line, heading out toward the mound. We start the bottom of the 8th inning. Phillies lead it 4-2, and they are looking for some insurance for Brad Lidge, who's going to come on in the top of the 9th inning. At least it looks that way, and try to close this baby out for the Phillies. But first, the Phillies offense will get another shot, and Charlie Manuel will see if they can tack on some more runs here in the home 8th inning. Charlie has said over the last week or so that Brad will pitch in save situations. It would just, depend on the situation. Well, here's Francisco, and he takes one for a strike. And well, the situation is this: Ryan Matson has pitched a lot lately. Brett Myers has pitched a lot lately. So Brad Lidge is ready and available and loosening up. Big hop for David Wright. 2 pitches. Francisco's retired. 1 away. There is Brett. Charlie said that he would give Brad a chance to work his way back into the closer's role on a consistent basis. And, well, today may be the first step toward that. Pedro Feliz is 0 for 3. And he's down in the count 0-1 as he takes that fastball for a strike.
Oh, what happened yesterday, after that, it's his turn. And there's nothing they would like more than to get Brad Lidge back in that role, as you said, Tom, and be consistent. That's what they want. That's what they need. And Charlie, he has so many great expressions. One he's taught me, and it's so true, is watch the game. You watch the game, you see what happens.
Pedro's got a hitter's count now. 3 balls and 1 strike as he takes that sinker low.
Well, they've really had some shots the last few innings and just haven't been able to tack anything on.
Toward third, backhanded by Wright. Took that one off the top of the dirt. Pedro is retired. 2 away here in the 8th inning. Hey, coming up right after the game, stay tuned for the MyPHL 17 postgame show. Get a recap of today's ball games plus fan reaction. We'll even give away some cool prizes. It's coming up right here on MyPHL 17. Mike Missinelli and Jade McCarthy will be hosting this afternoon. No relation, Wills.
No. Jay does a nice job. Never done shows. John Clark normally is doing that show, and Jay's sitting in for John along with Mike.
Matt Stairs, the batter. Stairs, his numbers as a pinch hitter this year. And a count 1 ball and 1 strike.
And they, of course, will then bring Ruiz into the game to catch Lidge in the 9th.
Stairs hits one to the air to left center field. That's pretty well hit. Reed on the run into the alleyway. He can't get it. A 1-hop off the base of the wall. That's the first time in a while we've seen Matt Stairs go the opposite way. And he's got a 2-out double. Let's see if they pitch run for him here. Eric Bruntlund's got a helmet on. He's heading out. 3rd double of the year, as you see, for Stairs. He is a dead pull hitter. He's been working on shooting the ball the other way during batting practice.
Especially with this guy, he's throwing those sinkers down and away. A little slider once in a while, change up. Good guy to take the other way. They've been getting themselves out trying to pull him.
So Stairs has the double. His day is done. Bruntlund pinch runs for him. And Andy Tracy will pinch hit for the Phillies. On the path to the postseason, there are so many different people that help a team along. Andy Tracy being brought up from AAA, where he hit 26 home runs and had 96 RBIs. His numbers as a major leaguer at 142 games. And they're hoping just for a pinch hit here.
The old 2-out run. 2-out hit, 2-out run would be big. It's Matt who fired that thing into the gap in left center field. Wind kind of knocked it down.
Tracy 0 for 2 as a pinch hitter, being called back up from Lehigh Valley. He's on the International League All-Star team this year. And he gets the green light and he rolls it into the outfield, a base hit. Bruntlund's going to score from second. There's an insurance run for the Phillies. A pinch hit single by Andy Tracy. And it's 5-2 Phils.
Great point, Tom, about September and how guys come out of nowhere to help. And Tracy has played so much this year that he's ready to go. Bruntlund scoring that run, but a 2-out run. They were playing him as a dead pull hitter. Charlie gave him a 3-0 green light. He hit it back towards the middle. There's nobody there.
I was just about to ask you if he was going to give him the green light, and then I thought, you know what, he's not going to give him the green light.
Sinker.
He gave him the green light.
Yeah, and that was a tough pitch to hit. That's a ground ball to second pitch, and it's a ground ball to second if the second baseman's there. But he wasn't. They were playing him the pull and perfect spot.
So 5-2 Phillies. Here's Jimmy Rollins with 2 away. Jimmy taking all the way. Opposite way. Reed floats, makes the grab. Inning is over. So the Phillies tack on 1 more on a pinch hit single by Andy Tracy. Here we go. Brad Lidge time at Citizens Bank Park. introduction of Brad Lidge as the closer here in the top of the 9th inning. Got a very nice applause from the crowd here at this ballpark. 60th game, no wins, 7 losses, 28 saves, 10 blown saves. That's more the storyline than the 28 saves that Brad has this year. His ERA just under 7, and he's trying to finish off this ball game and make a winner out of Kyle Kendrick and give the Phillies, more importantly, game 3 of this series with another one to come tonight. There's been so much that has followed Brad off of last year's perfect season, and he's just trying to get on track here in September. And he delivers a fastball high, and it's 1-0 to Jeff Francoeur. Francoeur just 1 for 7 against Brad for his career. And there's a slider for a strike. You know the storyline by now. Last year the Phillies were 79-0 when leading going into the 9th inning. This year they're 67-9. And it's 1-2.
They're leading by 5 games.
Leading by 5 games. Luis Castillo is in the on-deck circle. Carlos Beltran is on the stairs.
Yeah, they got some guys to bring off the bench that can hurt you.
Toward the middle, base hit for Francoeur. 3rd hit of the day for Jeff Francoeur. So he's aboard. Brad has talked often about his struggles, and the fans know all about the struggles of Brad Lidge. Brad has talked often about his struggles from the stretch, and let's see if he's been able to fine-tune over the last few days, because he's going to go right to the stretch to face Carlos Beltran.
It looked like a slider, and he was pulling off it. Francoeur was pulling off it, but he still just hit it right back through the middle.
So Beltran pinch hitting, just 2 hits against Lidge in his career. He's been out with a bad knee. Just returned last week when the Mets played the Marlins at home. And there's a strike on the inside corner. 95 on the gun. Like a lot of everyday players, sometimes pinch hitting comes a little harder for a guy like Beltran.
Beltran has a great eye too. You know, he's not a guy who chases a lot of bad balls. Phillies are not going to hold Francoeur on first base. They'd rather take the hole away. Or, well, he's playing near the line as Ryan Howard. Even though it's a 3-run lead, but the bottom line is they're not going to hold him on and stay right on the line. He's going to jump out towards the hole.
There he goes. Pitch is taken for strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, you know, he knows he's got a free shot to run to second because the infielders are deep. They're not holding him on. So that takes a double play away.
There's Gary Sheffield. I would assume he's not available today. He's just picking at his nails right now.
A lot of people are.
Outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Beltran. A lot of stomachs are churning right now. Two veterans who have been around the block and have been teammates before. Beltran spent a half a season in Houston. stays alive, but just getting a piece of that one. Everybody has their own nervous tick. Some are more subtle than others. Those are the two that matter the most right now. Toward the hole at shortstop. Backhanded by Jimmy. Has time. Throws. In time to get Beltran. One away.
What a play. Well, Beltran's not running the way he can because of that knee, but he still got down there pretty well. And it took a perfect throw with a lot of velocity after a tough play in the hole by a guy who's been unbelievable at that position, and today he's been great out there. That thing looks like it's spinning away and maybe even go in the outfield. Jimmy backhand, quick crow hop, fires and just barely got it.
He had a lot on that throw.
He had to. He had no choice but to have a lot on it.
So one out.
That was a wind up and let it go throw with everything you have. Boy, this guy chokes up. No wonder he's been making such good contact today.
He's 3 for 3 this afternoon. 2 hits to the left, 1 hit to the right.
Well, you know, when you see a guy hit the way that he has, and you look at the way he's choked up, that's one of the reasons why he has pretty good bat control. Guys don't choke up anymore. Everybody wants to get down the end of the bat and buggy whip. That's today's game. But every once in a while, you'll see a guy do this, and they can be successful with it.
Brad has generally, during the last 2 years that we've seen him, eaten up young players. I mean, eating them up with his slider. He delivers a slider for a fastball for a strike. It's 0-1. Well, that's a pretty good sink on it. Shadows have made their way out toward the mound. It's tougher for the hitter right now. Although it's sporadic. The light stanchion up above. There's the slider for a strike. 1-2. To the count. In the air to right field. Francisco going back. That one is off the top of the wall. Francoeur held up. The throw goes to second. They may have had a play at the plate, but they keep the runner at first. Francoeur scores, and it's now 5-3. And Toll has 4 hits.
You saw the contact he made on that slider, and he's a left-handed hitter. They love the ball down, and he just golfed it. And that had a chance when it left the bat.
Sure did.
To be more true. See, there it is. It's a slider, but it's right in the middle of the plate, and it's down a little bit. And all he had to do was just drop the bat head on it as a left-handed hitter, and he did.
So it's a 2-run game. It means the tying run is coming to the plate.
You see how close it came there to get that great shot. And Francisco does the right thing. Throw that ball into second base. You want to keep the double play in order. Even if the run scores, you have a 2-run lead with the double play in order.
Castillo will bat for Valdez. With a runner on first, 1 out. Phillies lead it by 2. One ball and no strikes the count. I think the bench wants to know where that pitch was.
Hello.
Castillo 1 for 6 against Brad.
He's thinking about bunting or just more or less just a distraction, you know, wagging the bat. This guy will do anything to get on, and he's such a good contact hitter. Thinking, wasn't that the same pitch? You called it a ball the first time?
It was even lower. I thought the first one was a strike. I'm glad Paul Emmel changed. I don't know where the first one was then. 1-2 the count to Castillo. Opened up there. It's 2-2. That's it. Keep yourself busy.
Taking notes.
On the outside corner, called strike 3. 2 away here in the 9th inning.
Now that looked like a strike.
That sure did.
And I think Castillo knew it too. It was a good fastball.
Kyle Kendrick hoping that Brad Lidge can record one more out.
Here it is. It's a fastball away. That's a strike. That's a good spot.
And here's Jeremy Reed. 0 for 2, 2 groundouts with a runner on first. And the first pitch is a strike in nearly the same spot that Castillo's third strike was in.
Well, that's what you want to do, is stay hard away in these situations. Make them beat you the other way. And with a left-handed hitter, that's left center. Left or left center. And there he is, setting up hard away.
Runner goes, pitches outside. They don't bother to throw through. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Toward the middle, base hit. Around third is Toll. He's going to score. This is a 1-run game. The folks around the ballpark are probably having the same thoughts creep into their minds that they've had a handful of times this year. And that run that Andy Tracy produced in the bottom of the 8th inning looms very large right now at this moment.
Now you have to worry about the runner at first base too. You can't ignore him. You know, they've been letting him just go, and now you got to keep him off second base. Hold him on. That leaves a hole open for Pagan.
Only 4 at bats for Pagan against Brad Lidge in his career. Reed not a big lead, and the first pitch misses outside. It's a slider, 1-0.
Playing the no doubles defense in the outfield.
See the alignment of the defense. To the count to Pagan. And here they come to their feet. So supportive all of last year behind Brad Lidge, trying to will him through this one. The count 1-2. Runner goes, swing and a miss, he got him. Ruiz sets up and lofts the throw to first. Ball game is over. And the Phillies have hung on and have defeated the New York Mets in game 1 of this day-night doubleheader. Brad Lidge, well, it wasn't pretty, but he got the save for Kyle Kendrick. His first victory in the big leagues since August of last year. And Charlie Manuel can